Hi everybody, I'm Meg and this is Daisy. We are outside today to talk you through a pose that is wonderful for your hips and for stretching out your legs, but can a lot of times be kind of challenging to convince yourself to do. Daisy says that she's going to amble over to another patch of sunlight, but she'll probably come on back. She loves taking over the yoga mat. But the pose I'm talking about today is Pigeon Pose. So go ahead and come to tabletop position. We'll do just a few cat-cows, arching the back in and out. She sees her daddy. Her dad is home. Daisy Maisie. Daisy, it's your daddy. Daisy, it's your dad. It's your daddy. Sorry about that. My husband just got home and Daisy loves her dad, so now she is following him around and has her little butt off screen. But like I said, we're going to try out Pigeon Pose today. It's one that's great for our hips. We hold a lot of tension, but it can be hard to talk yourself into doing it. So that's exactly what we're going to do together today. Go ahead and come to a plank pose. So full plank just for a moment. You can rock back and forth. Now bring your left knee to your right knee to your left elbow, and now your left knee to your right elbow. We're going to do just a little bit of movement to get warmed up before we go into this pigeon. Think of these as slowed down mountain climbers. If you want to go faster, you absolutely can. Doing great. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take that right knee, and this time bring it to your right elbow. Now slide your weight back and reach your left foot out behind you. Keep your right foot with the toes pointing towards the front of your mat, and try as much as you can to keep your shin parallel to the front of the mat. This can be challenging, so don't stress too hard if you're not able to do it today. From here, we've got a few options that you can choose from. You can sink your weight further back and sit up nice and tall. This, for me, stretches part of my butt muscle as well as my hip. Maybe you decide that you want to come down to your elbows or even rest your head on the earth. For me, this takes the stretch a little bit lower into my quad and back of my thigh. Or if you would like to bring a little bit of sneaky core, this is a pose that I can only hold for a moment or two, but you can rise up onto your fingertips. Think about gathering energy up from your pelvic floor and lift one hand to your heart and then the other, and you can hold here. Whew, like I said, that's a hard one for me, so I'm going to release that one. But choose somewhere that you think you can hang out for at least a minute. We'll go through this together. I'm going to lower to my elbows for this one and rest my head. You're doing wonderful. It's a nice day here, so of course everybody is outside. I know you can hear some landscape work in the background. You are showing up for you, taking this time for you, and yoga is awesome because you can do it even if it's noisy outside, even if it's rainy, if it's not sunny. Yoga is something that you can come to wherever you are, whatever else is going on. Just bringing your breath and choosing conscious movements can really be a game changer, even if you don't necessarily realize it in the moment. It's okay if this stretch feels very intense. It can be a really intense one. So be calm and patient with yourself. Daisy's getting up to check on me, make sure I'm still alive. And nice and slow, I'm going to raise back up and slide your right knee back to tabletop. From here, maybe bump your hips left to right a little bit, stretching it out before we go into that other side. And this time, instead of getting into pigeon from plank, we're going to curl our toes under and come to a downward facing dog. Now take your left foot up towards the sky and bring it on through. Remember to keep your left toes pointing forward and that right foot active. And you want to also try and keep your shin parallel to the mat as much as possible. You can choose to stay here with your hands on the earth and bringing your torso upright. Maybe you decide to lower down to your elbows. Maybe you rest your head on your hands. Each side is different, so don't be frustrated if you can't do the exact same side that you were able to do earlier. For me, this side tends to be tighter, so it's a little harder for me to bring my head to the earth. And I will actually stay here. You can, if you choose, decide to bring one hand up. See if I can do this side. It's a little harder for me. And drawing up strength from your pelvic floor. See if you can balance for a moment. Maybe a little longer than I can. It's all good. Our hips a lot of times can be tight because of emotions and stress. They react a lot like our shoulders, where if we're anxious, we will feel it in our hips. They can also just be tight from how we sit. If you're watching this in real time, everyone is trying to stay home because of COVID, so a lot more sitting down than we're used to can really make our hips pretty tight. There's nothing wrong with you. It just kind of is what it is when we're sitting down a lot more. Brush this ant away. Wonderful. Deep breaths here. If you're laying down or have your face on the earth, maybe you slowly rise back up. And nice and slow, slide your left knee back. Come on back to that tabletop. We'll do one more downward dog to round it out. Awesome. Bring your knees down to your mat. Great work. I hope that little pigeon stretch has done some wonders for your hips. If not, feel free to check out one of our other hip release videos or do that sequence again. Namaste. Thank you for spending your time with Mama Bear Yoga, and I wish you a lovely day. And let's see if I can turn off our video. I'm one of those millennials who struggles with technology.